Hello, I'm Rosie Hardy and this is Rosie Hardy Gardening. And today we're going to be talking to Alexandra Campbell from Middle-Sized Garden and asking her 5 favourite herbaceous perennials. Now I know this is difficult because we all in horticulture and in the gardening world love all plants, but can you really pick out 5 favourite plants? I know I always change month to month, so you're probably the same.
Absolutely, and in fact if you ask me tomorrow I'll probably pick different ones, but there are 5 that I love today.
Okay,
absolutely
that's
love.
Fine, let's
and
go
of
ahead
course,
with that.
One of them is Euphorbia wulfenii, which I can see in your garden at the moment, and it's just such a cracking plant because you stick it in there, one of the first to flower, those lovely sort of bright green citrusy flowers, keeps on going until really pretty much the beginning of June. 2 months of flowering, and do I ever have to do anything to it? Never. Yeah. Except occasionally dig up bits of it.
Well, it does seed around a little bit, doesn't it? You know, and you know, just taking off those dead flower heads, it's absolutely fine. I mean, I love them myself.
And the next one, and I think this is another one that I will carry on loving, is Geum Tangerine. And I wanted this one in my garden for quite a long time, but I'm revamping my border at the moment. And so I planted last October 6 or 7 Geum Tangerine, and they've come through a very difficult winter, flying colours, they're flowering, they look as if they've been there forever. They're just fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the ones that we did launch at Chelsea many years ago. And it's one of these a new introduction, but it's a really good doer. And it does, as you say, you know, it's reliable, it comes into flower and just keeps on going.
And I don't think anyone's favourite flower list could ever be without dahlias, because dahlias were the first, when I started gardening, dahlias were the first flower that I kind of got a grip of. And it's very difficult to choose. It's too much like being in a sweet shop. But I think the black flowered dahlias have just got a very special place in anyone's heart. The black leafed dahlias are very special, and that's the Dahlia Bishop of Llandaff was, I think, the first one that was really brought out for us all to see.
It was one of the first ones, I think, and you know, the fact that it's just such a good contrast. It's a lovely divided leaf. It's a good strong colour. It's a good doer, and you have that beautiful crimson single flower over the top. So it's not an over the top dahlia from the point of view of the actual bloom, but a lot of bloom showing up against that foliage.
And also really pollinator friendly, which is wonderful.
It is currently Chelsea Flower Show time, and to celebrate my personal experience with the show, I wrote and launched my first ever book, 25 Years at Chelsea, going over many of my gold-winning displays, and it also includes secrets for making the best of colour combinations with 80 plant recommendations for problem spots. This is available for sale as a hard copy via mail order in the UK. If you are living in the UK and interested in the book, then visit the link in the description. Now, back to the video.
And then I think leading on from dahlias, I start to think salvias, and they're a plant I've discovered more recently, particularly from Great Comp Garden in Kent.
Yeah. And
I think salvias are amazing because they just sort of kick off in June, and you know, they're still, you know, going away in October, and so they are fantastic. And I think, once again, really hard to choose, but Amistad is so sculptural and kind of grand, while also being, you know, rich colour, just a really stunning plant in the garden, I think.
Yeah, it is. And also the one beauty of that is a tall plant, but it doesn't need staking. And I think quite often people forget that minor point that, you know, sometimes these tall plants, there are some which you don't need to stake, and that's always a benefit.
Absolutely. I think from the tallest, I'll go down to the smallest now, which is ground cover. You know, ground cover, particularly in shade, is so tricky. And I saw, just coming into your nursery today, a really lovely Lamium, which I'm instantly fallen in love with. And you'll have to remind me of the name.
Yeah, so that one you saw, it got beautiful silver foliage, and then it has a lovely dark pink flower. So that is Lamium Beacon Silver, and it's quite an old variety, but very architectural in its own way, even though it's down and ground cover, because you've got that silver foliage showing up in dark areas.
Well, that is lovely.
Thank you very much for watching. Please do subscribe to the channel.